That's a Bree question. Probably not.
All right, volleyball time. Head coach Dave Fleming, Sierra Hunt, and Nicole Martin. Coach, been on the road for a while there, and then come back home and get a win over Western on Saturday. How nice was it to be at home, and then getting a couple wins at the end of the road trip as well?
Yeah, it's always great to be at home. Obviously we've done really well over the last couple of years at home. We always do well here. I think we have a great home court advantage. So yeah, it was good to be home. It's good to sleep in your own bed. It just kind of makes your routines a lot easier, less curveballs to deal with. So it's and then it shows on the court that when we have success and when we come back from adversity. I think Western played really well in set 3, and we were able to bounce back really well in set 4.
This team lost 3 times, but every time coming out have been able to bounce back with a pretty dominant win. What goes through your mindset? And we'll ask the players as well. What kind of happens there in those 24 hours or sometimes less to kind of allow for that to happen?
I think we just got to reset to who we are. I mean, I think we feel that if we're performing at the level that we can every day in practice, that we're going to be really tough to beat. Doesn't matter who we play, and we can't score points for the other team. And sometimes we have a tendency to do that with errors. I mean, kind of our philosophy is we want to play at our highest level at all times, and that sometimes leads to errors with tough serving and aggressive attacking. But we just can't have them in consecutive order, and we can't let the previous error really affect the next play. And sometimes that does. I mean, we're dealing with 18 to 22-year-old girls, women. So that does happen. But after a match or after a set that we lose, there's always a nice reset, and they usually respond really well.
Sierra, we talked about that the other night. Kind of things seemed to change midway through the third set, but kind of that same question sometimes. What helps you? Is it just a little extra motivation to not let that happen again, or what kind of goes through your mind?
I'd say definitely, like, after losing that set, it's not the greatest feeling. So just trying really hard to make sure to focus on the little things and then just to not get that same result. But I think, like, if we follow up a loss the next day with another game, it's just like a great time to learn from the game before and be able to use that the next day.
Yeah, I completely agree. Whenever we have like one loss in a game, I think the big thing is just focusing on the next set and not kind of sitting there on the things that we made mistakes on, but rather what we did good and just continuing off of those.
This week, CSU Pueblo and Adams State coming in. CSU Pueblo been one of those teams kind of on the rise lately and 4-0 in the conference standings. What do you know about them so far, and kind of what are maybe some keys to the match?
Oh, do you want me to answer this? Yeah. I'll start. Okay. I think Pueblo's a lot like us. I think they're pretty physical. They're, have good attackers in every position. I think we're a little bit more seasoned. We have more veterans on the floor than they do. Obviously, we're playing at home. They're coming off a loss against Regis, so they're going to be hungry. A non-conference match against Regis. But, they're going to be a good team. They're going to be a good test for us. And then Adams, they were at our tournament early in the year, and their best player hurt herself. She sprained her ankle, and she'll be back. So we expect a test from both of them. But I really feel that if we have a good week of practice and we focus on the things that we need to, we'll be okay.
I believe as long as we stay strong in who we are as a team, then we don't really have anything to worry about as long as we work together and continue to work as a team.
Yeah. I feel like they're both pretty scrappy teams and can put up some big blocks, but I feel like it's just a great time for us to show off and like kind of test ourselves against good teams.
I know we'll have the swim team against CSU Pueblo, so maybe that'll bring an extra boost.
Bring extra boost and extra boosters, probably.
Yes.
Sarah, we talked several weeks ago, kind of going into the season about moving positions. Now, halfway through the season, it seems like things have really, especially the last couple of weeks, started really clicking for you on the right side. What has that change and position been like for you? And is this one of those "why didn't I do this a few years ago" type questions?
Yeah, it's the last few weeks. I feel like it's really been clicking and just kind of have been having a lot of fun, and these guys make it fun, so it's been a good time.
19 kills this weekend, I think.
Thank you.
Coach, what was it been like to have Sierra on the right side and kind of a physical player like you always talk about to be able to give you so much offensive production in a spot most teams don't have that luxury?
Yeah, we kind of made the decision early in the process when you looked at our team on paper, like who was our best pin blocker, and that was Sierra. So it just kind of made sense to put her over there. And then Sydney had such a great year last year on the outside. And then the other pin hitters that we have in the gym, like the Emma Luces and the Aaron Browns, the Carson Breedings, they're all more comfortable on the left than they are on the right. So it just made sense to put her over there. And we knew first match of the year, second match of the year, that Sierra wasn't going to be the best that she could become on the right side. And we still think that she has room to grow. She's getting more comfortable with the back row attacking. She's getting more comfortable with right side defense, getting more comfortable with blocking with her right hand instead of her left hand the majority of the time. But she's getting better and better every day. And there's some crazy things she does even in our practice gym. As one of our athletes could tell you, she happened to, she knocked out one of our kids the other day, basically. But yeah, so she's doing some great things. So it's fun, and it's fun to see her progression with her getting more and more comfortable over there. And we think we have the best right side in the conference. So.
At the risk of jinxing it, is team 14-0 in the first set this year. What is it mindset that you come into each match and just kind of roaring to go more than the other team, or is it just
I didn't know that. Thanks, Chris.
I mean, mindset, I think it's the same as resetting before every single match. We can't really reflect on our record because it simply doesn't matter. Each game has to be different, and keeping our routine and keeping our mindset that it's a new team, it's a new set of players, and just staying as who we are on the court.
Yeah. I think going off of Nick, I think everyone on the team is very competitive. So just seeing new faces across the net is really exciting. And I think just every time it's that excitement that we all just want to go out and play our best.
Yeah. Chris keeps stealing all my questions. But I want to expand on a couple of weeks ago, we were talking and you said you and Sierra or you and Sabrina had been talking. We've got to get Sierra involved. How are we going to do that? And obviously you figured something out to get her involved, but the adjustment going to the right side, other than blocking with another, finding another dominant hand, what did change for you?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is just the angle that the sets come from, because normally it comes, or from the outside, it would come on my right, which is natural for how you turn to hit the ball. And so on the right side, the biggest adjustment is just having it come over your head. And that definitely took about 2 weeks or so to really get it. But now just like me and Sabrina, I feel like we've built good trust now with each other. And yeah, it's been fun to work out.
Yeah, it looks like, a lot of people say, you kind of like to have a lefty on the right, which people are like, huh? But when you look at it, the angle is easier for a left-hander, but obviously right-handed people can play the right side. But it just looks like you're so much more confident now. And like you said, the block, it's always going to be there. It's just figuring out which hand to lead with.
Exactly. Yeah, like you said, just figuring out the hand and just coming from the different angles. It just took some time, but I think we got it for the most part.
Was it anything that you adjusted in Sabrina's calls to get the right more involved? Or is it just kind of, that's the way it worked?
That's the way it worked. I mean, Sabrina's very, she's going to set who's up and available for middles. I mean, you look at Nick versus Stormy. Stormy's getting there and she's progressing every week, but Nick's been in our gym for 2 years. Stormy's been in our gym for 2 months. So you can see that Sabrina's much more comfortable setting Nick, but Stormy's getting there. And it was the same thing with Sierra. And I think the one disadvantage of the right side is Sabrina sees everything that's in front of her and Sierra's always behind her. Sierra's not the loudest kid in the world. So I think some of that comfort level is, is Sierra ready to hit? And now she just has the faith and the trust that she's going to be back there and ready to swing.
And the middles, you guys are starting to throw up some blocks. We're just not going to touch the ball to get it to our defense. We're putting the ball down. And it looks like teams are having to adjust. It's like, oh, Mesa's got a major block because you've got so much size. It's kind of fun to be able to get up there and stuff the ball for points.
Absolutely. Absolutely. People always say like getting a kill is one of the most fun way to score a point, but I genuinely think getting a block is one of the best ways to score a point because it's solely like you. It came from you and only you.
Well, and then the swim team gets really excited when you do that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It just looks like you guys, I mean, week after week, you're adding one more element to become more of a complete team. Can you just kind of see the progression, the veterans and the young kids kind of all figuring out at the same time?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Sierra and me, I guess, both kind of came into it. She had her year off last year, and then I was a freshman. And so we definitely have a different team and different cohesion on the court. And I think we're really starting to mesh together as a whole.
Yeah, and I think we're going to continue to add elements. I think the big one, if you've noticed recently, is Sierra out of the back row, that she's playing more 6 rotations and becoming an effective attacker out of the back row, which you don't really see at this level. You see it at the Olympic level and high level D1, but it's pretty rare at this level that you have effective attackers back there. And she's good at it. So is Sydney.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see Nicole take swings from different positions on the court. Stormy's getting really good at that as well, that she'll hit a 0 tempo and she'll hit what we call a push or a flare. So yeah, it's kind of fun because I don't think anybody's that's walking into our gym today feels like that they're the best that they can be by the end of the year, which will just make the team better.
You added a new wrinkle in the lineup, kind of out of necessity, but worked out. Honey Johnson getting to play on the outside. You've both been around her for several years, and of course being in the gym for 5. What was it like to see her in that new role and kind of contributing fairly significantly when the team needed it?
It was awesome. Hani Johnson can play any position that you put her on, even middle if she had to. She's a very, very well-seasoned athlete. She plays beach, so she knows how to place the ball in spots that nobody really expects it to go. She wasn't necessarily the strong suit of height, but she has the ability to tool the block and roll shot, and she did amazing.
What Nick said as well said. Yeah, Heidi's she's got a really high volleyball IQ, and we really feel comfortable her playing anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they were talking about her as a setter, and it's unusual that she's playing outside. But yeah, I think she's the one kid in the gym all right, Heidi's playing that today.
Yeah.
All right, we're good.
All right, question of the week: favorite concert or live music event you've ever been to?
I haven't been to many. I've been to Tame Impala. That was pretty fun.
Well, my favorite was probably Greta, and I actually saw Fleming there.
It's Greta Van Fleet for all you rookies out there. Yeah, that was a ballerina. Yeah,
that was awesome.
You didn't expect to see him there.
No.
Fleming's at all the concerts. He went to Taylor
we were not
Swift.
sitting together. Yeah, I went to Taylor Swift, but probably not my favorite. It's hard to argue with the Red Rocks. I saw Big Head Todd from the 4th row, and I saw Head in the Heart from like the 3rd row. It's just hard to beat that venue. Of course, those are both really good bands, but
yeah.
So, and the Beatles aren't touring anymore.
Thanks. Good luck this weekend.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.